Hey, I'm Helen with Floating Yoga School here at Wild Thing Yoga in Bend, Oregon. Shayna, Lace, and Hannah are my yoga models today, and they're gonna help me take you through a mini flow focus on the shoulders and opening up through your shoulders. We've got some props. We're gonna use a tennis ball, any other ball, something kind of firm, lacrosse, softball that you might have at home is totally acceptable, and if you don't have a ball, just skip that part or do something different. And a strap. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a tie, a belt, a towel, a scarf, something you can hold on to and kind of lengthen open. Shayna's here sideways, so you can see things from a different angle. And as we start to use the tennis ball and work with the wall, she'll be able to show us what that looks like from a different perspective. I recommend having the strap near the top of your mat so it's handy, the ball near the wall, and we'll go from there. You guys ready? Awesome. We're going to start standing, so find your way middle or top of your mat in a comfortable standing position. Feet can be together or hip distance. You can close your eyes. Take a moment here to find a connection through your feet to the ground. Start to deepen your breath. And just notice how you're feeling, especially in your shoulders, your upper chest, upper back area. So what's happening there? Many of us are very active and thus have tight shoulders, or because of lifestyles, working on computers, typing, driving, texting, leaning forward, we tend to have this forward motion of our shoulders. So we're gonna create some more openness here today. If it's comfortable, you can start your Ujjayi breath in and out through your nose. So you can hear it in the back of your throat. And then either eyes closed or gently blink them open. Take a few shrugs of your shoulders, so up, back, and down. Notice how that feels. For me, there's always a little bit of crunchiness in there. As you next breathe in, reach your arms to the sky. With your right hand, find your left wrist and stretch up and over to your right. So a little standing half moon, working underneath your shoulder through the side of your waist, ribs. Beautiful. Try and relax your shoulders down your back. Nice adjustments. Come back to center as you inhale. And then switch hands, exhale up and over to the other side. So left hand grabs your right wrist. Nice. Same thing, even through your feet. Thinking of creating length through both sides of your waist. Bring it back to center, big breath in. As you exhale, cactus your arms, bend your elbows, open up your chest, slide your shoulders down your back. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, cactus. 1 more deep breath in. Exhale, cactus, open up. Inhale, reach your hands to the sky. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips. Take a halfway lift, lengthen your spine, hands to shins or to the ground, slide your shoulders back. Yeah, exhale, fold. Hands down, step back to a tabletop, hands and knees. We'll take a few rounds of cow and cat. As you inhale, lift your tailbone, drop your belly, reach your heart forward through your arms. Imagine opening up through your chest, shoulders back. Exhale, press the ground away, puff up between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. Nice, and then move like that with your breath back and forth. There's other movement that feels good. Sometimes with tight shoulders, we need to get into our neck, or sometimes it's side to side. Nice, Hannah feels really nice. Awesome, Lace. We'll take 1 more round of movement, of breath, really noticing how you feel, but focusing attention to your shoulder sockets. Come back to a neutral spine, take a breath in. And stay for your exhale, just really settle. And then we'll take a thread the needle flow. Right arm will reach out and up to the sky to open up your chest. As you exhale, thread to your left, but hover your shoulder above the ground. We're gonna do that 2 more times. Inhale, open up, right arm to the sky. Exhale, thread to your left. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out. This time you can take your shoulder all the way down, head down. Left hand can stay, reach forward, or wrap behind your back. Still really early in this practice, you don't want to force anything. Shoulder joints are some of the most flexible, if not the most flexible joints in the body, but also the least stable, so we don't want to force anything out of alignment. So creating a stretch through the upper back, maybe even through the front of your left chest, pec. One more round of breath. Left hand by your face if it's stretched out forward, and then unthread right arm out and up. Take a counter stretch, big breath in. Exhale, release your hand down and switch sides. Left arm to the sky. Exhale, thread to your right, find that hover. Twice more, inhale, reach out and up. Exhale, thread through. Last one, breathe in. And breathe out, lower it all the way down. Right hand can stay, it can reach, it can wrap. Find what feels good for you. Creating a little bit of sensation without forcing, without overdoing any stretch. This is a nice practice to do when you're starting your day, when you're ending your day, or to kind of add to another yoga practice or another physical activity. If you did some climbing or something more active with your upper body and you feel like you want to stretch out your shoulders. Bring your right hand by your face if it's extended. Unthread left arm, stretch out and up, counter stretch. And exhale, release it down. We'll just press back to a child's pose. Knees can be together or wide. Reach your arms forward, bring your palms together so they touch, and then bend your elbows, hands behind your head like a little shark fin or prayer hands. And that can be a lot on your triceps or underneath your shoulders. So if it's too much, ditch it. Otherwise, stay here and breathe. You're always welcome to modify your practice. Take one more full round of breath. And slowly release your hands down. Lift to a tabletop. And find downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips. A lot of times in down dog, shoulders like to collapse to your ears. So see if you can keep some space by moving your shoulders out of your ears. And slowly walk your feet to your hands. We'll find a ragdoll variation. Feet can be wide or together, knees a little bit soft is really nice. Yeah, you can hold opposite elbows, let your head and neck relax. If you prefer to dangle your arms or hold on to the back of your neck for some gentle traction, you are more than welcome to go there. And then slowly release your hands down. Take a lift halfway up, breathe in. Exhale, fold, let it go. Rise up to standing, arms float high to the sky. Exhale, palms together in front of your hearts. Inhale, reach your arms really wide. Try and take up some space. Hand on lace, you guys might touch. Yep. Exhale, think eagle arms. So you're gonna wrap your right arm below your left. If your shoulders are tight, that might mean hugging yourself. If you feel really open, you might be able to connect your hands. And then some movements here. So you can choose, I like up and down. Some people like to draw circles. You can fold forward over your legs and let gravity do a little bit of work. Just explore where it needs a little bit more space. We're working more into the space between our shoulder blades here, getting into trapezius, rhomboids, and also some of your rotator cuff muscles. Give yourself a couple more breaths. Remember, any movement is great, even stillness and holding. And on your next inhale, open your arms out wide one more time, and we'll switch other arm underneath. So left arm below right, or whichever side you didn't do. A big hug or hands connect for your eagle arms. Again, find the movement that feels right in your body. Up and down, side to side. Feel free to hinge. Two more rounds of breath. Next, inhale, unwind, reach your arms to the sky, stand tall. Exhale, forward fold, back to your ragdoll. Take any version. Notice if your shoulders feel any different. Notice if there's somewhere else that needs some attention. Bend your knees, sway side to side. Everything's connected in our body, so a lot of times tight wrists lead to shoulders, neck, shoulders. So it's hard to isolate. And it's also hard to have one spot that's just holding on to everything. So you might find that it's migrating. You're gonna find your strap from here. So release your hands, grab your strap. Keep your feet pretty wide, a little bend in your knees, and then roll to standing, carrying your strap with you so your head is the very last thing to come up. And if it's better just to stand, that's great too. So we'll play with a little shoulder flossing. Yeah, open up your strap. Depending on how long your strap is, these are pretty long. And depending on how tight your shoulders are, you might want to double it up. The goal is to have your arms straight as we start to lift arms up and over and hands back behind you. So you can just create some movement up and down, forward and back. If it's challenging to keep your arms straight, hold your strap wider, so arms might even be super wide. And if you don't feel much, you can bring your hands a little bit closer together on your strap. And I really invite you guys to find what feels good in your body. So Hannah's doing a little side to side on top. You could add a twist. Notice if there are spaces that feel tight. Oftentimes it's through our pecs. Because of that rounded shoulder sensation, pectoral muscles, the front of your chest gets really tight and short. So we want to create openness. So maybe hands behind you feels nice to open that up. And you could also play with your hands on the strap, folding forward over your legs and taking a little stretch. Yeah. So feel free to explore what feels nice. These guys are pretty flexible, so they can take it like all the way up and around pretty easily. Everyone's gonna look different. Every day is gonna feel different. I also like that little half moon with the strap, so up and over, side to side, if you guys wanna play with that. Beautiful lace. We'll just play with a few more rounds through this. And when you've had enough, you can do this as long as you like. You can ditch your strap to the side. We're not going to need it anymore. And again, find those shoulder rolls that we did when we started. So the shrug, up, back, and down. Notice if it's crunchy, probably still a little bit, but maybe you've worked through some of that. Yeah, a little head roll. And then we've come to use the wall. So if you're not near a wall, you might find your way to a wall. We won't use the balls quite yet. We'll start with down dog on the wall. So hands will turn to the wall, palms flat, about shoulder height, and then you're gonna walk your feet back. You choose how much. Think of a down dog, let your head and your neck fall between your arms. So again, it's sort of that extension, just using the wall for a little bit of support. And you can see everyone's at a slightly different angle. Depends what feels good for you, what works for you. Let's take 2 more breaths like this. I love using props and tools to get a little bit deeper. It's just a different sensation. Slowly make your way back up. We'll work into the front of shoulder, front of pec. So I'll use Shayna here. You guys will start with your left hand on the wall. Yep, and then turn so your hand is facing behind you, or fingers facing behind you, I should say. Yep, hand right at shoulder height. And then you're gonna start to open up your body. So turn your feet, turn your chest as much as is comfortable. Really relax your shoulder away from your ears. Yeah, working through the front of your shoulder, getting into your pec on that side. And slowly turn back toward the wall. Switch hands, right hand to the wall, fingers point behind you. Turn your chest open, your whole body open as much as is comfortable. And slowly release, unwind. Now we'll grab the tennis ball or whatever ball you have, and we'll work through a few places, and I'll show you on Shay. Now we're gonna start with deltoid. So deltoid is, let's turn you sideways to start if you don't mind, this sort of cap shoulder muscle here. So we're gonna work kind of the front and a little bit of the back of the deltoid. The wall is nice because you can roll against it. You could also do this on the floor. I just find it a little bit easier on the wall. So you're gonna find this spot that feels good and use the wall like a little bear to roll against it and work into there for massage. So do both sides. You guys can find that for yourself. starting left, starting right, doesn't really matter. And if you've never worked with a tennis ball, it can be pretty intense at times, so just find a spot where you get some sensation, and if you don't get any, you don't have to stay very long. But if you find something you like and you want to stay a little longer, stay there. If it's too much, back off. So that might be more to the front, to the middle, or to the back. You might add a little up and down. Just relieving some of that tension. Both sides. So as you feel ready, switch to the other arm. Sometimes the hardest part is finding the spot and holding it there. And sometimes one side you feel a lot more than the other, especially if it's your dominant arm. So for me, I'm feeling this side. Are you guys right-handed? Oh yeah. Yeah, when you feel even right and left, you're slowly going to remove the ball and we'll work into another spot. So we're going to switch to underneath your arm, or what's called subscapularis, and this is one of your rotator cuff muscles. This one can be pretty intense. It's kind of your armpit kind of below. Yeah, find the spot that works. Excellent. And it's a little awkward because your arm's up against the wall. It's the same thing here. Oh yeah, that one I feel a little bit more. What about you guys? Yeah. And it could be holding it still, it could be moving, so thinking about either cross-fibering, moving across the fibers of the muscle, or moving with the fibers of the muscle. And these are sort of at an angle, so unless you're moving perfectly at that angle, you'll probably be cross-fibering a little bit. And you can stay here as long as you like, but when you have enough, we're just going to switch to the other arm. Flip it around. Find that little spot underneath. Remember to breathe. Sometimes when things are challenging, we hold our breaths. So make sure you're breathing through it. Excellent. And when you feel even, again, right and left, you can release. And I'll have Shayna turn her back toward the camera here so we can see where we're going next. We're going to work into the back and kind of between the shoulder blades or toward the side. So lots of muscles here. You've got the trapezius, which looks like a trapezoid. You've got your rhomboids between your shoulder blades, really deep muscles. And then you have the rest of your rotator cuff muscles, the teres minor, infraspinatus, and I'm forgetting the last one, but it'll come to me. So working through these with the tennis ball. And you're going to kind of find the spot that feels good for you. It might be higher up, working into those traps. It might be more close to the spine without rolling on your spine for the rhomboids. And it might be a little bit around the shoulder blade or underneath the shoulder blade to work into some of those rotator cuff muscles. Cool. So a little awkward again to find the spot. Tennis ball to the wall. You choose one side to start. And then find your little bear, moving up and down. This one can also be done on the ground, laying down. I find you get a little bit more control standing. Sometimes I even push my butt into the wall, and that way I can kind of just move upper body to find this spot. Yep, and if it falls, no big deal. Grab it, bring it back. I can find a really crunchy spot and kind of move through it. You guys find that? You can spend a lot of time doing this, releasing some of those attachments or chunky muscles, little knots that develop. And when you're ready, just switch to the other side. So moving your tennis ball to the other side of your spine. Always steering clear of not rolling on your vertebrae because that doesn't feel really great. And the idea here is that we're breaking up adhesions, working into the fascia that surrounds the muscles, so also known as myofascia. You've heard of myofascial release maybe. That's what this basically is. There's always one side that feels a little different, right? We're not perfectly symmetrical. Good catch. And when that feels like enough, release. You could set your tennis ball to the side and find some movement. So it could be the shrug, it could be some big arm circles, it could be like a little swimmer, just feeling some movement through your shoulder socket, working through all those muscles. So we work the deltoids, the cap, we work the rotator cuff muscles of the supraspinatus, teres minor, infraspinatus, and the subscapularis. Those are the four. Rhomboids, traps. There's obviously a lot of other muscles and stuff that goes into this. And just take a deep breath in, arms to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Lift halfway up, breathe in. Exhale to a tabletop. Come to hands and knees. Take an inhale, and then lower slowly to your belly. And scoot your straps out of the way, however you want to get there. And do a couple of last stretches. Arms out wide in a T, palms face down. Turn your head to the right, so your left cheek is on the mat. And bring your right hand right by your side, elbow points up to the sky. Yeah, you're gonna roll onto your left hip, kickstand your right foot behind you. So again, working through the front of your left shoulder and chest. Right hand can stay just where it is. It can come to your low back. If there's something else that feels good, do that. Continue to breathe. Unwind to your belly, switch sides. You can always stay longer. Turn your head so your right cheek is on the mat, looking left. Left hand by your side, press down, roll onto your right hip, kickstand your left foot, and then left hand can stay, reach behind you, whatever feels good. Just a last little stretch, a flush out after we've done that rolling. Any deep tissue work that you do like this, you'll want to create some movement after, so gentle walk to get some fluid moving through you, release any toxins, and also drinking lots of water as if you had a massage. Nice, and then back to center. Find a Sphinx pose, forearms parallel to each other, elbows right below your shoulders. Arms make like a number 11. Yeah, and think of drawing your heart forward. And sometimes this can be a lot on the shoulders and not feel comfortable. You can always release your head down. So this is option 1. The second option I'll give is you're gonna think of crossing your arms underneath you. So left elbow lifts, right arm threads to your left, palm faces up, and then left arm threads to your right, palm faces up. So you can even do one like Shayna, yep, or you can do both at the same time like Hannah's got. Find what works. And wherever you are, you want to think about your arm being between your collarbone and your nipple line, so not too high, so you can still relax your head and neck. And if you're doing one side or if you've got one crossing on top, make sure when it feels like it's the right time that you switch. So the other arm is on top or you switch in the other direction. And that's just, again, a gentle release here through the upper back, through those muscles. And when you feel even right and left, unwind. Press back to a child's pose with an embryo variation. So I like knees together for this. Arms wrap around your legs, palms face up, so your shoulders are just released to the ground. Kind of coming back into that natural reset mode. You can let your eyes close, let your breath become relaxed again. Tune in and notice how you feel in your upper back, in your shoulders. And slowly find your way up to a seated position. Legs can stay as they are, or legs can swing around. Place your palms together in front of your heart and bow your head. Namaste. You guys feel okay? A little bit more open? Beautiful. Thank you.